And I think, like a team like the Vikings, the more I think about this, and the more that comes out about what they offered Kirk Cousins, Mark Wilf, the owner of the team, said this week that they only offered 1 year fully guaranteed, not 2. I think that they really didn't want to keep him. I think they were ready to move on. They made him an offer that they hoped he wouldn't accept, an offer that they hoped that someone else would exceed, and he would just go, and it would be graceful. And on the way out the door, the Falcons are accused of tampering, which makes it look even better. It gives the Vikings an extra layer of cover, right? That they went our plan A. Now we pivot to our plan B,
right? Which
is kind of our plan A. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But our plan B,
I hear you there, Mike.
Kind of our plan A.
I'm not so sure. I'm with you. I think Kevin O'Connell might have been the only guy that really wanted Kirk Cousins. Everybody else was in on the, the coup d'etat like you're talking about.
Well, and I wonder how much of it was O'Connell just saying what he needed to say, because he's good friends with Kirk, and you have to have the relationship with your quarterback, and you don't want to be perceived as throwing the guy overboard. I mean, maybe O'Connell. I don't think he's that good of an actor. Me as a guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a guy who can do that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right.
I still think I also think from his own, like, what's easier for me? After going through this revolving door last year of Jaron Hall and Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins, like, what's easier for me? What's easier for me is to just keep it going with Kirk. Let's get to year 3. He's going to be even better. He could be good enough that we can win a Super Bowl. Instead of going all the way back to square one with someone new, where it's going to take 2-3 years to get to maximum level, maybe longer to get to maximum level. So it's going to take more work for him, and there's no guarantees it's going to work out. You have a bird in the hand that you know can fly. So I can understand why he would have wanted Kirk. And I think it's possible to truthfully say, I want Kirk, but we'll be fine if he leaves.
Yeah, I hear you there. I think I think Kevin O'Connell has that type of confidence, right? Again, like we've talked about, with this type of coach and his offense, he's probably like, damn, but I wanted to go to that next phase of my offense too. So Kirk, we were making a lot of headway and really getting deep in there and constructing something off of what we're doing and adding pages to the playbook. That's where I could see him being frustrated with, now I got to start back at kind of square one here. All right, 2 + 2 guys. Okay, you're good there. That's where I could see him being a little frustrated and wanting the Kirk Cousins thing here. But I do think he has the self-confidence to go, wait, I can still make it work with Sam Darnold or whoever we draft, and we still can have a dangerous offense.
Chris, the more I think about this, and I'm trying my best to be objective here. I'm not trying to make a
the more you think about
anybody.
What?
The more if I'm any of these quarterbacks coming out in the draft and I have any appreciation of the history of the position, especially recent history, my career, and I know that when you're 21, 22 years old, it's easy to think it's all about you. It's about your inherent skills and abilities, your effort, your work. There's so much more that goes into that. Whether it relates to the talent around you, the organization, the coaching staff. And if I'm any of these high-end quarterbacks, as I've said before, I don't want to go to a team with a defensive head coach. Because if I thrive, the offensive coordinator's gone, and now we got to bring in a new one. I want to go to the place where I'm going to be joined at the hip with the head coach, and it's going to be Sean Payton and Drew Brees. I would want – now – this gets into how long is Sean Payton even going to be there. He's 60 now. Maybe he'll be there 15 years if it all works well. But I want somebody who's going to be here my whole career, that we're going to grow and develop and thrive together, just like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are doing. That's one of the reasons why it's working. Patrick Mahomes needed a lot of polish and a lot of shaping. That's one of the reasons why he wasn't the consensus number 1 overall pick that year. Wasn't the consensus top quarterback that year. Hell, Mitch Trubisky went 8 spots ahead of him, for crying out loud, in 2017. It took work by the right hand. And if I'm one of these young quarterbacks and I'm dad, uncle, agent, friend, whatever, I'm saying, Denver and Minnesota trying to get into the top 3 or 4, that may not be bad for us.
No.
If we end up in a spot where where the coach is going to get the most out of the quarterback, and we don't have to worry about the guy who's getting the most out of the quarterback leaving to be a head coach somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, those are all positives, and I would think that any agent for quarterback 3-4 or off the quarterback that's 3-4 off the board or whatever, agent, dad of that quarterback, whatever, would be like, wow, my kid might get drafted by a team that's coached by Sean Payton or Kevin O'Connell. To your point, yeah, those are the kind of recipes that any father or agent would want for success for their football player right there. It's two guys that are smart. They're not going to make it and blame the quarterback for everything. And then yet they're also at the same time going to give the quarterback a lot of tools and the ability to succeed and not make it all about him. They're going to give him cheap, easy completions, and they're going to set him up for success in a lot of ways. All right, so that is the kind of guy you want to be with. I don't disagree with you there. I do think you can do it the other way too, but I hear you. There's definitely more benefits to the way you're talking about.
I'm going to peel back the curtain a bit, and I'm going to share with you a text message I got from an agent who specializes in representing quarterbacks.
Okay.
And I'm not going to name names, but I'm just going to tell you that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And people in the business can make their guesses. And this isn't some, stunning revelation. This is the opinion that was expressed to me recently. Every quarterback projected to go high this year should be terrified by the teams picking 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And that would be Bears, Commanders, and Patriots.
Yeah. The things you're talking about, right? I mean, hey, it's the Bears. It's Eberflus. It's a defensive head coach. All right. It's a guy that, I mean, we just did the coaches under the most pressure. Eberflus was on my list, right? There's that. Hey, the Commanders, where are they at as an organization? It's Dan Quinn. It's the second time around. I don't know about that. Damn, he's a defensive head coach. They just got their asses torched. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Damn. That was a double whammy.
Swooped in out of nowhere.
Did.
At least usually I can feel it building.
It did. That was one that just
too casual
came out. Boom,
Jeez.
crash. It was one of those where even when it came out of my mouth, I was like, wow, that was a little aggressive there. I'm not sure I should have said that.
Yes.
but yeah, that Dan Quinn, hey, Cliff Kingsbury's the offensive coordinator. There's certainly questions about that. And of course, New England's got questions galore. The team, who's going to make a play, the new coaches, all of it. So, yeah, I don't think that's a unfair assessment by whoever your GM friend is over there, Mr. Big-Time NFL guy.
There's a widespread school of thought this year, obviously, that Caleb Williams will be the first overall pick in the draft. 10 years ago, it was not a quarterback. It was just Davian Clowney. Woo. He has another new home. We'll tell you about it next here on PFT Live. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.